Hello to all of you, and welcome to this video. I'm making this video to announce my return to making some content here because I miss it and because I have some answers about the situation I'm going through regarding a secondhand smoking. Now, I made a video a while ago, not that long ago actually. It's not available anymore, but about my feelings about what I'm going through, and here are some of the highlights from that video. Where I'm living right now is getting quite bad for my health, quite dangerous. Not only am I dealing with the smoker in the apartment next to me that he smoked today, and it's just going through all the halls. I'm now dealing with people downstairs smoking marijuana as well, because I've had this my whole life. I need to be in this housing program, and I can't, I can't work. I've never been able to work my entire life. Clinically diagnosed as a kid, since I was born with something wrong with my brain. So I'm sorry for the people who don't understand that, but it's going to be very difficult. First and foremost, obviously, smoking. I'm worried about the health effects of breathing it in. I'm trying to get through to people. It's going to be a very uphill battle to find another place to live. I can't put any energy into this YouTube thing right now. When I'm a peaceful, quiet tenant. Just got to look at the individual person. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't blast music. Oh, so I don't work. Who cares? As long as the rent gets paid, who cares where that rent is coming from? It's coming from a program or it's coming from somebody's paycheck. Who cares as long as you're getting the rent? Who cares? All right? But a lot of these people, well, we only rent to certain kinds of people. We do credit checks, we do this, we do that. And they're trying to force me out. I am literally fighting for my life. To put up people with emotional, I am upset, I am angry. Because you're putting people with emotional illness through this. I need to be safe. I've spent my whole life on Long Island. All right? I mean, damned if somebody with more money than me, somebody with the Wall Street job and the preppy clothes are saying, well, you're not one of us, so you don't have a right to be safe and happy. You could live with the drug addicts and the criminals and the lowlifes because you're in a program. People with mental illness cannot live in these kind of situations. They will crack up. Maybe that's what they want. They want us to crack up between the smoking, especially the smoking. And for those of you who say, oh, it should be illegal, there is unfortunately no law in Nassau County against smoking in a multi-tenant building. There is laws against smoking in school, public places, but that does not include apartment buildings. It does not include that. It doesn't include it. And I'm very worried about his smoking, not just for my health. Like I said, I'm terrified he's going to start a fire. And I'll be trapped in here. But I need your support. I need your prayers. I'm not asking for pity. But I need your support. I need your prayers. And that is by far the most important thing in my life at the Pine Barrens. I love them with all my heart, whether they're in New Jersey or Long Island. It is the most beautiful, peaceful, soothing place for me to go. I may criticize. I may have criticized over the years Wall Street and, that demographic or whatever. But I would still rather live with you guys than live with what I'm living with right now. At least you guys obey the law. You guys don't smoke weed. You guys don't dump your trash out on the sidewalk. At least you guys are happy. They're fun. Y'all are fun to be around. You look nice too. All right? Nothing wrong with looking nice. You're fun to be around. I'd rather be around you than be around what I'm at right now, of course. This is depressing. I'm upset, and I've expressed my anger over the years because of the attitudes that have come mainly from that Wall Street demographic toward people with mental illness. Look, I'm sorry if I don't wish the stock market to go down, you guys. I don't wish that. I don't wish you guys any harm. I really don't. You gotta understand, I'm fighting for my life here. And you guys are standing in my way, putting me down, keeping me from the places I need to live so I can be happy. And it breaks my heart. I just want the respect. I'll respect that you trade stocks and you're a finance professional. Respect that I can't work. I have a disability. But that doesn't mean I shouldn't be allowed to live somewhere where I can be happy, where I don't have to suffer, right? There happen to be a lot of nice things about, finance, and finance built a lot of these beautiful buildings we have in New York City. These beautiful, high-rise buildings with beautiful elevators. Unfortunately, I can't ride them. I used to film elevators. I kind of miss it, but honestly, I'm terrified of getting harassed because security, people with cameras, we are viewed as some kind of enemy for no reason at all. It's the same kind of attitude that's given toward people with mental illness. All right? So, please understand where I'm coming from. Bottom of my heart, all right? I'm sorry if I really upset anyone here. I'm sorry if I upset a certain demographic. Finance professionals. I really am. I really am. All right. It's just coming from my heart because my heart is broken over when people say I don't have a right to live somewhere happy. Oh, you can't live in Lynbrook because it's in a high expensive area now. It's only for a certain kind of people. That breaks my heart. I've lived my whole life on Long Island. Most of these towns, it's not like the North Shore. Most of these towns used to be always middle class until within the past 5-10 years when it started becoming more white collar. All right? This is all part of this big squeeze that's happening against us. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart what's happening. I know so many other people are in the same damn situation across Long Island. And we don't have a voice. We're just forgotten. Media doesn't care. No one cares. No one cares about people with mental health issues. And you wonder why we have a mental health crisis. And you wonder why it's happening. All we want is to get the same things everybody else does. Just because we can't work, just because we're disabled, people don't see the wheelchair. They don't understand what's going on in here. They just don't understand how messed up my brain's been my whole life. And just because my brain's messed up doesn't mean I'm not an intelligent person. Just because my brain's messed up doesn't mean I shouldn't be treated with respect. It's just an illness, just like anything else. It's really, people think mental and physical are separate. Really, mental is part of the body. It's the same thing. It's the same damn thing. Who cares what their background is, whether they have mental illness or not? As long as somebody is a law-abiding person, why should it matter if they have mental illness or not? Why should somebody with mental illness have to live with a bunch of people who don't abide by the law? That's just wrong. I need your prayers. I need your support. And I need your respect as I go through this. So please keep me in your prayers. And anyone else in this situation, or worse, I give you all my prayers too. Alright? We all deserve to be happy. We all deserve to live in peace and safety. And those that are no good, those that are troublemakers, those that are criminals, they shouldn't be in society. They should be in jail. And it's unfortunate that we live in a state that seems to care more about the rights of criminals than about the right of innocent people to live in peace.
So now you see the situation that I'm in. As you know, I figured, you know what, this video, I'm gonna leave this video up as an explanation as to what has happened here. As you saw there, I'm unfortunately dealing with somebody in a neighboring apartment where I live. This has been an ongoing issue now for 6 to 8 months or so. on and off of somebody smoking in their apartment. It is against the policy of the property owner for this person to be smoking, but unfortunately they continue to do so. And yeah, I just had to grab some water there. You didn't hear it, but I had to pause this clip because it's still I don't think the guy's home, but it's like there's a residual smoke smell sometimes that gets in here too. It just, it's very faint right now, very faint. But sometimes it's a lot stronger. But what it is my property owner, my landlord, has tried to get him to stop via letters. That hasn't happened. What'll happen is he'll stop for a little while and then he starts again, and it's getting to be an unbearable issue for me. Now, the information that I have for you in this new video that I'm making is that, unfortunately, I cannot move. It is not a good idea, because what has happened, and what you don't know, is that my agency that provides basically all my mental health service as well as housing, earlier this year, actually late last year, merged with another agency, and a lot of the policies have changed regarding housing. When I moved out of Westbury, I was able to look for an apartment and find another apartment. Now, because it is a new agency, they have a new policy, and if I were to move out of where I'm at now, I would wind up in a much worse situation, because the policies have changed, and they do not allow people to choose their own apartments anymore. You're not allowed to choose where you live. You're not even allowed to. They might even force you to live with a roommate. Can you imagine having to live with a complete stranger? I would crack up. So I have to kind of hold on to where I'm at right now. And so they want to address this in a considerate way, because they have to work with the landlord. We need to make sure that we don't annoy the landlord in any way. I really hope that this can be resolved and I don't have to move. I really don't want to have to move. I kind of said that in my other video, but at this point I can't live like this, breathing the smoke in. Yeah, this is unfortunate as to what's happening here on Long Island. We're getting squeezed out. People like us are getting squeezed out because there hasn't been enough funding for programs and mental health clinics, and mental health clinics have been forced to merge because of the governor, all right, and because of Trump, and because of the government. This is all part of the plan to purge us out, all right. But here's the thing, and I have to put up with it. I have no choice but to put up with it. Maybe I can get an air purifier. The alternative is much worse. It's just unbelievable, the position that people with mental illness are being put in on Long Island when it comes to housing. It's really unbelievable. And the other video that I did last week explaining to you what was going on, I kind of talked about how a certain demographic obviously is trying to discriminate against us and keep us out of all the safer areas with good access to things and all that other stuff, all right? And that's, in that video, I kind of expressed my, why I've been angry, why I've had a beef with that demographic. These white finance professionals that, all mostly in the nicer towns on the South Shore. But now it's not even that. Now it is the fact that my very program is being cut so much that people aren't even getting. Now, first of all, I believe that this is a violation. This is a program that is a New York State program through the OMH, Office of Mental Health, and part of this program is allowing clients to choose where they live. So I don't know. My agency may be violating those rules. I don't know. But the point is that if I were to have to move out of here, I would have to retain a lawyer and probably go after my agency for breach of contract because and possible violation against the OMH rules. And I don't want to have to do that. I don't even know where I'd get a lawyer. I could not imagine myself. I mean, they could put you in Hempstead. They could put you anywhere. I can't imagine. I would crack up. I would just crack up. I can't deal with that. you know, it's just unbelievable what people with mental health problems have to deal with in this state. And I'm sorry I didn't set up the camera. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. But I come here to vent, and I've come here to, you know, if things get really bad, I need your help. If things get really bad, if you know lawyers, if I will need your help. All right. But I hope and pray. And when I talk about lawyers, I'm not even talking about. I'm talking about my agency. That if let's say for some reason the landlord doesn't renew our lease here, all right, I will be forced out, and I will have to live somewhere absolutely horrible, most likely. Otherwise, I'd have to try to find another agency, or I'd have to move to, New Jersey, which I can't even fathom. So I have to hold on to where I'm at right now. All right, so we're trying to keep it in a, this is why I said in my other video, I just want peace. I just want peace. I need peace and stability, and that's why I don't want conflict with people. That's why I have removed a lot of the videos that were controversial, because I don't want conflict with a certain demographic. I don't want conflict with anyone. I don't want conflict with my agency. I don't want conflict with anyone anymore. All right, I'm just trying to live my life in peace, safety, and health. All right, and that's what I'm trying to do, and it's very hard in this day and age on Long Island to do that, because we're constantly getting squeezed. We're constantly getting squeezed, and I had received a notice when my agency was taken over that nothing would change. So that is something in writing. I hope it never comes to that. I don't want to have to, I don't want to have a conflict with my agency. I don't want to have a conflict with my landlord. I don't want to have a conflict with even the smoker. All right? I just want people to respect each other. All right? I'm done with conflicts. I'm done with controversy. That's why I'm not doing any more controversial content on this channel. I just don't. I have to survive. It's getting harder for us to survive. It's getting harder for people with disabilities to survive on Long Island. Our programs are under attack constantly. It was in the news that the seniors were there's a program to feed the seniors that was some guideline that was put on by the state. Thank you, Cuomo. That made it hard for the programs to get funding to provide hungry seniors food. I mean, I will put the links below some of these stories. There is some good news though in all of this, and that is that the smoking thing is actually being talked about in the news. News 12 did an excellent story about Suffolk County considering a law finally banning smoking in multi-tenant apartment buildings and condominiums. Smoking would not be allowed. People would not be allowed to smoke in their apartments, because currently it is not illegal for people to smoke in their apartments. It is only illegal for them to smoke in common areas, and it is only illegal for people to smoke in schools, malls, pub businesses and stuff, but it doesn't apply to people's own apartments. Well, Suffolk County wants to change that, and I'm very glad that they're passing a law. They interviewed a woman who she was talking about exactly the kind of same things I'm going through with the secondhand smoke, and it's bad for people's health. It's bad for the property. I mean, me and my landlord are on the same page with this. Smoking is not supposed to be allowed in here, but letters aren't getting him to stop. So something more needs to be done to get him to stop smoking inside his apartment, because not only is it bad for my health and bad for the health of the other tenants in here, but also it's bad for it's bad for the apartment itself, because smoking damages damages apartments, and he could start a fire, and that's a concern. So it is something that I hope and pray will finally be addressed soon, because I can't move out of here. And I've talked about the neighborhood and stuff. There are issues, but it's not as bad as Westbury, and it's not as bad as a lot of other places. Unfortunately, the sad reality is people with mental health problems aren't going to be allowed to live in the happiest towns on Long Island. We're just not going to be allowed to. That's the sad reality of it. Mineola is better than a lot of the other places. All right? A lot of the other places are in Hempstead, Glen Cove, Westbury, horrible places that you don't want to ever have to live. All right? And thank God I don't live in those places, and I have to hold on to that. So what I'm trying to do is address this in as much of a respectful manner as possible, And obviously it is upsetting to find out that if I did have to move, that I would not be allowed to do what I did the past 2 times and choose where I live, which is absolutely terrible and absolutely despicable. That's all I have to say. And if it ever does come to that, I will put up one hell of a fight against my agency, because I'm not going to be forced to live somewhere I don't want to live. All right, I have a right to live somewhere I feel comfortable and I feel happy with. That is part of the housing program under the New York State OMH guidelines. And if they want to violate those guidelines, then they can see me in court. But like I said, I don't want to do that. I don't want to conflict with them. I just, I don't want to conflict with anyone. But I have to be prepared to fight for my own survival. So please understand that. And again, this is what's going on. This is the way the government is working in New York. It's controlled by Wall Street there. They want to purge people like us out. I've talked about this before, and these Wall Street people winning. But I have nothing against. Look, let them win on Wall Street. Let them make money. I don't really care how much money they make. What I care about is the fact that they're trying to make my life difficult. Then they should just let me be, and let's respect everybody regardless of where they come from, regardless of their disability. As long as you're a law-abiding person, it shouldn't matter. You should be allowed to be safe and happy and comfortable where you live. That's a basic human right, in my opinion. So, as far as, like I said, I'm not going to get into it, but I figured I'd update you on that as to what's happening here. Now, I want to return bringing you some content, including maybe weather updates, because I feel it's important to talk about the weather. We have a lot of unusual things going on with the weather that need to be talked about, and without me there, it's like I need to just get back involved with the weather, and the environment and the Pine Barrens, because I've done all I can do about this situation right now. I've done all I can do, and I got to focus on the other stuff that I enjoy doing, and I do enjoy doing the weather updates. I definitely enjoy doing the Pine Barrens videos. I love that. Parks, nature, all that stuff. And I've also left some of my rail fanning videos up. Yeah, I can't even rule out possibly getting back into filming elevators again. All right, I can't even rule that out. All right, but it's got to be positive content, nothing controversial, nothing that's going to be too offensive. Obviously, I am going to talk about global warming and climate change, and I know some people who support the president obviously don't believe in climate change, and I believe that we need to elect somebody who's going to put the environment first, and that person is not Donald Trump. It's Michael Bloomberg or it's Bernie Sanders, but that's up to you guys when you do your election to vote for the right people. And when it comes to our public safety, you have to make the changes you need to make in New York. Obviously, the people that are running the show up in Albany don't care about our safety, so we need to think about that too. But slowly, it's just getting harder and harder for people like us to survive. And I feel like I'm just more and more fighting more for my life here on Long Island. Now more every year something more is taken away. Every year it's always something, whether it be the transportation, whether it be choice of housing, whether it be the quality of your health care, or something is always being taken away. We are always the ones who have to sacrifice, when the people at the top don't have to sacrifice much at all, if anything. But rest assured that if it does come down to having to move, it will be a place of my choosing. I'm not going to be forced to live anywhere I don't want to live, and I'll put up one hell of a fight before I have to move to New Jersey, because I really don't want to have that happen. Obviously, that is the plan. That is what the powers that be in connection with Wall Street want to do to us, but I have to continue to fight. I can't imagine living anywhere other than Long Island. And again, I appreciate all your comments, all your support. This video will stay up. I'm not going to take this one down, all right, because this is an explanation as to my absence the past week without the weather updates and stuff like that. So I hope you understand. But I can't get involved with the Long Island Railroad problems anymore. I can't get involved with, I could do rail fanning. I can still do rail fanning, but nothing controversial, nothing that's going to be controversial or I don't want to really, like I said, I'm not out to go after a certain demographic anymore, I really just want to make peace with them at this point. I just want them to respect me for who I am, that I was born this way, and I can't help the problems I have. Just because I have these problems doesn't mean I shouldn't be allowed to live in a happy, safe place. That's the way I feel. I don't think they have the right to deny people that. That's all it comes down to, really. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to deny them happiness if they want to make money, but they can't just tell other people, hey, you're different than me, so you're not allowed to live in my town. I mean, what kind of nonsense is that? That's just the way I feel. I mean, come on. I don't care about a person's skin color. I don't care about their race, background, nationality, disability, sexual orientation. I don't care about any of it. Even political beliefs, I don't care. As long as they're law-abiding. Why does it matter? So, what can I tell you? But I don't want to go on with that. So I do want to restore the weather updates. I still can't upload the same level of content that I used to. But I do feel it's important. Especially there's so many beautiful places in the Pine Barrens. Yes, you're looking at some pictures from the Pine Barrens hike I took in West Hampton throughout this whole video that I took the other day, actually Saturday, which turned out to be very nice. I just want to show you more of these beautiful places. And let's just all get along, folks, all right? And I know there's been some conflicts with some of my viewers. Please, let's all get along. Even if you don't agree with somebody's political beliefs, please, let's just respect each other, all right? As long as we're law-abiding, why does it matter? Just let's respect each other, all right? Regardless, there's so much division in this country, so much division going on, and it's really just very upsetting, very sad. Because I think that the people who are corrupt want us to be divided. They don't want us to be united because they know if we're united and we work together, that they'll be out of power. And that's why I see some of my viewers arguing with the show. We all got to work together. We all care about the same goals. Even though I'm not involved in those transportation issues anymore. And I know Matt. He is not producing any more content here on YouTube either because he is in a relationship now with a girl who he is very close to, and I really wish them the best of luck. I hope they can have a long-term relationship and get married, and that's another thing I have to work on. That's why I don't want to spend so much time here. I've got to find someone in my life to get married with, and maybe then I wouldn't have to be subject to the whims of the system as much anymore. It's hard being alone. It's hard. I don't have much family. I have one family member I'm close to, and that's it. Some of you know that I lost my mom. I lost her in 2000. Due to breast cancer in the year 2000. Unfortunately, she had a breast cancer recurrence. It happened very quickly, and I lost her. And my father is estranged, so I don't really have a whole lot of family that I can depend on either. Please understand that it's very hard when you got to deal with all these things alone, and it's very hard. It's very, very, very difficult, and I just hope and pray that this can get resolved. And I know I've talked about some things that bother me about where I live, but the reality of it is that there's a lot of things I like still about where I live. The positives still outweigh the negatives when it comes to Mineola a great deal, all right? The main thing is the smoking, because that's an immediate threat to my health. Secondhand smoke, people can get lung cancer from it. It's a health hazard. It's a fire hazard, and it's not something I should ever have to be subject to. No one should have to be subject to that. And that's why I'm glad Suffolk County is putting this law. I'm going to put the link below. You can look at it, and I'm hoping Nassau will follow. And as far as the smokers go, just go outside, smoke in your car. But when you're in an apartment, you don't own that. You don't own that property, and you're affecting other people. You're not just affecting other tenants, but you're also affecting the landlords. Who have to. Whenever this person does move out, the landlord will have to there's probably going to be smoke residue. They're probably going to have to redo the whole apartment. It's a lot of cost to the landlord as well. So from a landlord's point of view, I could totally understand why smoking should not be allowed. And I'm hoping something gets done about it. I really do, because it's bad for everybody. You know, that's all I can say. You know, I'm sorry if I offended anyone. You know, I've been doing so many controversial videos over the years about so many things, and that's what happens when you do controversial subjects. You know, you can offend people. And look, man, I am sorry if I offended anyone out there. Deeply sorry. I didn't mean to offend anyone. I just expressing my opinion about certain things happening on Long Island regarding, you know, corruption and stuff like that. You know, we all need to respect each other. You know, Wall Street has a place, and so do people with disabilities. They have a place too. We all have a place in this world. You know, and you know, it doesn't matter. You know, whether you're Wall Street, whether you're a doctor, whether you work in a store, whether you're disabled and can't work. It doesn't matter. As long as you're a law-abiding citizen, why does it matter? It shouldn't matter. You know, it just shouldn't matter. I hope that the situation gets resolved. I really hope and pray it gets resolved, and I hope that you know, I can stay here where I'm at until, you know, until I get married or something like that. I want to meet someone in my life, and you know, I just don't want to focus on these controversial subjects anymore. So please understand. You know, I'm not even telling my colleagues if they want to cover it, they can cover it. If they can't, they can. Obviously, Matt is not going to be doing videos anymore, but you still have MTAProdigy. You still have AndysRandomness. You still have Andy from NYC. You still have Passengers United. You still have Jason Anthony. And you know, you can always check out those links below, or all my colleagues, for that transit-related content. If you do see transit-related content on here, it'll be like rail fanning and stuff like that. You know, if I get an M3 or, you know, whatnot, you know, or maybe even bus fanning or going on a bus ride or something like that, or, you know, but nothing controversial, nothing. You know, if things go wrong, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk, even if I'm stuck in the middle of a big mess. I am not going to cover it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not. If there's a big mess, I'm just going to avoid it. All right. I remember a couple of times when I was in Hicksville and I went there to cover. Next time it happens, I'm just going to get on a nice bus. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not. You know, I don't want to cover it. I don't want to deal with it. I'm going to avoid it. It's stressful. I don't need that. You know. This has been very difficult mentally for me to deal with some of these issues, but I have to try to kind of avoid it and work on some other things in my life, and hope this all works out for the best, and hopefully I can have some stability. You know, peace and safety in my life is all I ask for. You know, everybody deserves that. With that, I'm going to wrap up this video, and I want to thank you for listening to me for the past half an hour or so. You know, I will have a weather update sometime tonight about it, because we got some crazy weather going on we do have to talk about. So I think that will wrap up this video. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for all the comments. I look forward to hearing from more of you again. You know, and I appreciate each and every comment, whether I agree with it or not. I appreciate it as long as it's respectful. Anyway, thank you very much for listening and watching to this video, and take care.